Welcome back, everyone. How we doing? Good morning. Another beautiful day. What's up, Margin? John, Rob, Sid, Golf. What's up, guys? 69.30. Yeah, Chef, I saw your tweet. Way to go, man. Beautiful. 69.30 was on the money yesterday. Once we failed that, that was it. That was it. After we got the 69.30 fail. That was also around the SPX. I realized later in the day it was the SPX gap fill as well, which I should do a little bit more focus on there. I'll start looking at those a little bit more often. That was really nice. The 69.15 SPX gap fill was pretty much at the same spot. So beautiful stuff. Nice downside move. Nice realization yesterday of not longing into that 69.80 area at those highs. Wanting the pullback. The pullback went further than I expected, but having the right mindset yesterday of not longing that market into that high was what saved it. I mean, that's what saved the day. So really good. Really happy about it. Yeah, it looks a little weak this morning, Margin. I see it. You got a nice PDL here. That could be a nice spot to trade off of today. 68.70 ES PDL looks like a nice spot. So it looks like we're going to possibly find some action here. Took a little baby trade yesterday just to sort of get the juices flowing again. Small little win yesterday, so that's good. Nothing to really talk about. Yeah, Netflix news. You got XYZ block news today. So you got a few things out there. I'm excited to see what we can do today. I'm probably not going to trade as it is Friday. And, I've told myself that I'm not going to get aggressive this week and maybe not trade at all, which I did break that yesterday, but I took a very small position just because I liked what I saw. So it was good. So wrap up this month today, right? End of the month after today, and then head into March with a nice, fresh mindset. Excited for the weekend. Excited for a new month. Yeah, I took a little trade yesterday. It was I think a $1,500 position, really small, but it was such a good setup. It was a great setup. It was like a 27-30% win. If you guys are part of the group, you watched it. Yeah, XYZ, terrible name. I agree. I agree. How did Nvidia earnings go? Well, you can clearly see Nvidia did not go very well yesterday. And I don't know if we said it on the stream yesterday, but I know we were talking about it off the open with the group. And it was to watch Nvidia to be a proxy for the market. I think we talked about that when we were actually live trading. I'm not sure if I mentioned that on the live stream, but watching Nvidia as a proxy to the market yesterday was an awesome read, and Nvidia just started weak, stayed weak, and that really is what dragged the market the whole day. So it was a really nice way to know not to long the market was watching Nvidia, because Nvidia never had any reason to bounce or saw any strength, and so that's what we were doing yesterday was like, okay, if Nvidia is staying weak, then we should not look to bounce this market, right? And that's pretty much what we did yesterday. We stayed away from the long until Nvidia started to see some kind of a bounce off the daily 20. And that was a really nice read yesterday as well. So overall, what a great day in terms of action and reads. Very happy about it. So hope you guys had a good day yesterday. Today, let's jump right into it. I've been working on improving the live stream, so I got a new little view today on the live stream. Going to make this better over time. I actually have, I want to show you guys, I have a little ticker that runs right here. You're going to see it, but it's not updated yet, so I didn't want to show it because it would be the wrong levels, but you can see right down there, you have the levels that I have. I'm going to be putting the NQ, ES, SPY, QQQ levels running across the screen there on the bottom, but they're not updated today, so I'm just hiding them. I don't want to confuse anyone there. But I also have working on a live like counter, which is really cool. So it'll update live with an API. Man, I'm doing things way out of my league right now, and it is all because of Claude. Just crazy creating all of this. I created all of this morning before the stream. I ran out of time, and also I think I might have hit my limit with Claude because even though I pay a lot for this, it's not working right now unless the servers are down. It's not like I think I've worked it a little bit too hard this morning, but actually no, it's working now. Oh, nope. Conversation can't be compacted any further. Start a new chat to continue. Yeah, it's having some problems this morning. Is anyone else having problems this morning on Claude? I don't know if it's me just spamming this thing all yesterday, all today. I can't imagine it is. It broke down once I told it to get the YouTube API to do the live counter. Once I tried that, it broke down. So we'll see. But you're gonna see that yeah, you're gonna see me use that more, man. I would definitely it's normal amped, so it's just sort of I gotta clear everything. Okay, yeah, I got it. It's a little bit heavy, I guess, this morning. Yeah, I'll redo it later. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Today, let's pull up the economic calendar real quick. Economic calendar. Let's pull that up. So right here, you guys can see today PMI here in the morning, 8:30. So we'll get that live together. We'll see what the reaction is there at 8:30. And then from that point, we'll see what the reaction is. Let's go ahead and pull up the earnings calendar. I don't think we have any earnings to worry about today, so not much there. But did we have any earnings last night besides I know Nvidia was Wednesday. What did we have yesterday? Anything? Yesterday, oh, CoreWeave. Okay, so CoreWeave, Dell. Yeah, actually some decent ones yesterday. CoreWeave, Dell, Zscaler, Duolingo. Let's take a look at those real quick. I know CoreWeave's lower this morning. That's one I'm watching today. Dell. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. All right. So we might need to be peeking at Dell. Dell was a great trade a few months ago. Like back here. Actually, yeah, back in like late last year. I remember this was an awesome trade back here. Look at this. Okay. All right. We'll look at Dell today. Jeez. And Duolingo's been nothing but straight down for a very long time, and it still is going down. So this thing has been, this is like a rise and a fall of a titan here. This thing is going straight down. Oh, it's at this, holy shit, it's at this meter low. It's at this 3-year low. Come on, TOS. Not now. I love when this thing doesn't zoom in. Where are we at here? We're at this 3-year low on Duolingo. $87.57. Yeah, we're right at it. Below that, oof, 60. I mean, I'm not really interested in trading it today, but yeah, this thing has been crushed. How did ZS do? Pretty much flat. It is, ooh, this one's, okay, hold on. This one's rejecting that that level we had here. All right, we'll look at these in a second after we run through our normal, let me put a note down. Let me write a note here because I want to go through these real quick. ZS, Dell. Yeah, let's go ZS and Dell. Let's make sure we look at ZS and Dell. Yeah, Duolingo, I agree, man. I really don't think it's worth, I don't know. I would never, you'd never be able to learn a language on that thing. That's my opinion. Maybe you learn a few phrases, but I don't know. Okay, let's jump in. Nasdaq. First of all, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. As you can see on that little thing down below, it keeps flipping over to press the like button. And I have my little personal ad for Insider's Coffee Co. down there. You're going to see that flip down at the bottom. But NASDAQ futures. So yesterday, we fell under the 25,265. And from that point, it's just pretty much a bloodbath, right? A little bit hard to catch that trade yesterday, to be quite honest. A little bit hard to catch that trade. It just, I didn't want to, I don't know. It just never really felt right to get into it at that point because the ES was still above 69.30, right? So when the NASDAQ broke our level at 25,265, which was like right around here, around 944, the ES was still above that 69.30. So for me, you would have been shorting the NASDAQ into the ES major demand that held, and that just didn't feel right to me. So I stayed away from that trade. This one was just, I mean, I wish it wasn't this candle, right? The 69.30, this 1 minute candle went like 20 points, like 10 points on the ES. I really wish it wasn't that, but look at the 69.30 rejection, man. That is just absolutely special yesterday. This was our exact level. This is the exact daily 50. Look at this beautiful failure of this level. Could have chased it. You would have been chasing it into the daily 20, and you know where else you would have chased that into? The QQQ daily 20, which was just sort of this was just a hard little spot to get fully confident from me yesterday. But if you guys did catch it, you know, GG, that was a really, really nice failure. It was sort of just an immediate failure. You could call this the retest, though, right here. This is sort of your break and retest right here, little break retest rejection, which definitely was there. I just couldn't find the full confidence. It was just sort of sitting here for very long, and I couldn't find that confidence to take that entry point. But overall, beautiful failure of that level. So, anyways, NASDAQ futures fails our 25,265, bloodbath straight down into our 25,128, where levels were very good yesterday in terms of where things would pause, right? So 25,128 was our pullback level we were looking for. If you go back to the hourly and you remember our morning thesis yesterday we said no longs into this high. Let's get a pullback into these highs here, right? And so this is a really good topic to talk about. When I say, and you have to make sure you understand that everything we talk about prior to market action does have a caveat to it. And that is that the caveat is always you must watch price action, right? WPA. You must always watch the price action to decide whether, this is actually a pullback long, right? Because the idea was definitely valid. If you look at this chart like this, looking for pullbacks to these highs for a break and retest long is absolutely something you look for. Now, when you go to the 1 minute chart and you look at what happened at this level, you have to understand that there is nothing here as it tries to hold here. There's nothing here that says I should be long, right? You're still in the downtrend. You haven't reclaimed anything. Nothing is showing strength. Sure, it got to my level, and some people would say, Desi, your levels suck. This didn't bounce, right? That the mindset has to be, okay, this is a level to watch the price action at. And so that's a great level, 25,128. You can see we stalled the downside, started to consolidate, but never really showed anything towards the upside. Nothing really showed strength off that level. And then once you broke it, bloodbath, right? So just wasn't there. The pullback long just was not showing at all yesterday until you did some reclaim action later in the day. And I will show you guys that reclaim on QQQ when we look at it later in today's session. So today, looking at today's action, look at this, man. This is special. I mean, this is just perfection. Rejection. Instead of turning this into a support level, you have now turned this back into a failure point. So this is very weak, in my opinion. The fact that you have failed back below 25,128 today, the fact that you have failed back below these double top highs, and you have failed back below the daily 20 right there, that to me is super weak. And so I am definitely intrigued, but further downside today. However, the further downside idea comes to a halt right here. So unfortunately, there looks to be a chance that it's going to be here either before open or very close after the open. I hope it's not, but it's starting to look that way because the downside idea comes to a screeching halt at these lows. You have held this 25.7 spot multiple times, and I would not want to be short into that today. You can see lows, multiple bounces off this level, and it's going to really be hard to be wanting to be short into this level again today. So I hope that we can find an entry point today. My ideal entry point would be under PDL into that low, right? So a break and retest of PDL at 861 into this low for about 150 points, right? That could be really nice. But we got to see if we can get that reaction in a clean reaction. Now, here's the concern I have for you today, okay? Here is my concern for you. Number one, these are a few things I want you to take into context today on this market. Number one, you are right back within the shit show. So, for me, I lost a lot of money right here, okay? And guess what? We're right back in it. So, today, I probably should be saying to myself, you're not trading in this channel. And that's probably what I will do. Because guess what? You're right inside the same zone. You tried to get above it. It would have been nice to see a higher low form, but guess what? We're right back in it, and we're right back rejecting those highs. So, technically, to start today, you are at the center point of this channel, which to me does not provide the highest of edges, all right? The highest of opportunities. So that's the first thing I want to say to you, and just to be cautious there. The next thing that I would very, very much focus on is if you find a low at yesterday's lows, there is a very good chance that the market trades within this channel the entire day. If you do not break yesterday's lows, you are likely not going to break this rejection point today. I would say there's a pretty low chance of that. And I actually might even put on a Kalshi bet on that. We might look at that later in the session. I would say there's a pretty low chance of you reclaiming the daily 20 SMA today and reclaiming that previous channel high. I think that's now a brick wall sitting right here. And so if you hold this low and then you sort of maybe trap this low, move back higher, and you probably do something like this today. So this is very much a spot that I would say absolutely no trades, right? I think the only trades you would want to look for today is a rejection of yesterday's lows. You could look for a failure of these highs on a pop and fade, but you definitely need to wait for it to get there. And by some grace of God, if you can get above this daily 20 and hold back above these highs, then sure, that long sets up. That would be pretty crazy to see. I don't expect that as of now, but hey, market does whatever the hell it wants. So basically what I'm saying here is if you get trapped within this range from yesterday, this afternoon range, please be careful today, okay? I do not like trades inside this afternoon range from yesterday. And that is the channel high and yesterday's lows. I like the failure here, down towards here. I like this area, right? Or I don't mind this. I don't mind this. This is the other one I don't mind today. Short at the daily 20, short at 25,128. I don't mind that idea, or I don't mind the failure below the lows. The thing you'll have to be careful of today is a failure below the lows likely has a trap. There's got to be a trap here somewhere, right? A little bit of a sweep, maybe back up, right? And then maybe it goes back lower, who knows? But I would be careful of any kind of traps at PDL today as you open the market very weak here. So that's sort of my read today. I like under PDL. I definitely will be focused under PDL. PDL down to 25.7 is definitely something interesting here. Unfortunately, it looks like you might do that before the market opens. That daily 200 below is possibly a target here. And your best short now is up at this daily 20. This is the best short right here, as you can clearly see from this morning. So I would look for all of that. QQQ, it's the same exact thing. Beautiful. On the Qs, very clean levels. Take a look at this on the Qs, guys. 610, 609, bam. I mean, just so sick right here. Lows, highs, failure. This is so clean again. I really think this is a really clean rejection on the market today. Really like the way that you've sort of created this bear flag, right? Little bear break, little bear flag retest. Continuation looks pretty nice. I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic that you're actually going to see some price action today because of what you're forming here. But where does price action, what happens today that causes price action not to follow through? All right, this is what you need to be aware of today. In your mind, you need to remember this. If we do not have a solid move below yesterday's lows, then you should instantly know that price action is going to die off, okay? If you get a trap of yesterday's lows, you might be able to look for that channel trade, right? The nice volatility within this zone, and that's what you can definitely look for. But if you trap yesterday's lows, I would say that you definitely, I can't say definitely, but I would say there's a low chance of us breaking these highs. So at that point, I would say you would be trapped within this area, which is a pretty big area. 6 points on the Qs is pretty nice. I mean, there's definitely money to be made there. So you could look for the trap of the lows, the reclaim long, right? Back towards 610. You could look for the failure of that 610 for another downside rejection, right? Or where I think, clear price action continuation would occur is a failure of yesterday's lows down into 600 right here for a 4-point move to the downside. So those are the things and the sort of the scenarios that I have built up in my head today. Under the 599 and 600 December low, you come down into 594. Okay. S&P 500 futures, you are right at the previous day low to start the day. And you can already see that we're starting to get a little bit of the trappy, wicky action off this low. Take a look at this. See this? Look what just happened at this low. PDL 6870, you just got a little bit of a bounce right off of it. So this is where a lot of games are going to be played today. There's no doubt about it. First thing I want to point out before we get started, guess where you are? You are right back within the shit show. Okay, so right back below these highs, failure right back under 6930. That was a perfect pop and fade yesterday right here at 6930. That is gorgeous, right? And look where you're staying below this morning. Now, looking at the ES, you have a few spots that I'd be careful of here today. You got obviously PDL, which could trap and bounce. That's a very possible little sweep of the lows and bounce back into the channel, right? Maybe just sort of sweep the lows, bounce back into the center of the channel, and then just die off for the rest of the day. That's very possible. 6930, definitely going to be a stout rejection point. I would really not expect to see a move above that today. We'll see. I definitely would be expecting traps at these lows. If you do hold below 6870 today, you will trade into 6850. You will trade into 6828, and you possibly will trade into 6800 again. But I would be very aware of the traps that could happen at PDL and then at these highs. So right in here is the area that I would be a little bit more cautious, okay? All right, SPY, same thing. PDL, you can see here, 684.35. I'd be careful of a sweep of these lows, sort of a reclaim, and then maybe just a sort of revert to the mean type of trade within this channel. 689, 690, perfect rejection points, perfect failures, perfect previous highs, turning into rejections again. That is a really nice thing, and you can see how trapped these buyers are above, right? Anyone that was chasing this Wednesday long and stayed in that long is just instantly tanked on yesterday. I mean, not even a chance to like even think about their position. So any longs that held overnight Wednesday basically had like 2 minutes to think about what they were going to do, because within like, I mean, maybe more than that. Let's just call it 30 minutes, right? You had 30 minutes to react before you're, I mean, if you're in at the highs, then you're instantly down, but you see what I'm saying, right? They just a massive tank off the open, and everyone that was sort of sitting comfy in this long here just instantly underwater. So there's a lot of trapped buyers up in this zone. There's no doubt about it. And so that definitely concerns me for how this market, that could fuel the market lower. You have this area, instantly trapped back below this 690, failing back below it, failing back below these highs. And this could fuel, right? This could really fuel something. So let's see. I'm excited to see what happens today. I'll tell you that, right? At the very least, I'm very intrigued with what happens today. 684 lows, 684.35 lows, and yeah. So pretty much everywhere you're looking at PDL today, right? IWM, really not much interest on this one today. Very much channel bound, but under this Friday low here at 262, I think it could get a little bit interesting, right? Under 262, I think you could trade towards this Tuesday low at 260. So that might be a nice little 2-point zone there on the IWM there. Under 262 into 260, I don't mind that area because of this straight up move here. That's something you could definitely be watching today. Dow Jones actually sort of failing more than anything else today. Wow. Okay, so the Dow Jones went from like the strongest name yesterday to the weakest name. That is very interesting. Okay, and the Dow Jones rejected the exact same supply high. Holy crap. Look at that. Yep. Same high. Wow. Okay. I mean, at this point, I'd say the Dow has a date with these lows down here around 48,775. Not sure I'm going to be trading the Dow today. I never really do, but I would say that DIA rejection at right at that 498, massive rejection there. I'd say you're looking at these lows right here at 487. Okay. Bitcoin losing it again. IBIT, our level we had on IBIT, very nice up there. Failed right there, 39.38. I realized I don't have my ticker on. You can't see it. Hold on. There it is. 39.38. Just another failure on that crypto move, so not much there. This one's interesting to... Oh, no. No, stop. Okay, so gold. I think this is a must-watch today. You're getting market weakness. You guys know the inverse correlation, and guess what gold's been doing? It's been consolidating perfectly. I think gold is ready. This looks... Yeah. Oh, man. I wish I was already in this. Highs. What a beautiful hold here all week. And with this market weakness that you're seeing, you're getting the inverse correlation on gold, and look what you're getting right now. Damn, this was exactly what I was sort of looking at this morning. We talked about, I sort of posted this morning about looking for that gold strength on this market weakness. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting one. GLD held that 470 all week. We've had this level on our charts all week, 470. If GLD can clear out that high at 482.44, that's very interesting. I really wish I was long off 470, though. I would be honest, because gold can definitely sort of just make you lose because of volatility still. But overall, the bigger picture here on gold looks like this is starting to look like it's ready for another move, to be honest, man. I mean, the technical chart definitely says we're going higher right now. That is a perfect hold over previous highs. So pretty cut and dry analysis on gold here. So I would definitely watch this today. Okay. We got a few minutes till data. If you guys could, please press that like button for me. Let's get to 1,000 likes today. Our normal goal. I'd appreciate that. Yeah, gold looks good. Gold looks good. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you could. And then we're gonna jump into some. Equities today. Before we do that, let's take a quick peek at this real quick. Let's take a look at Kalshi. If you guys want to sign up for Kalshi, make sure to use code Vincent. Get yourself $10. What do we got on Kalshi today? Close, not range. I want close at 4 o'clock. Where's the close? They got that today? Interesting. Here it is. So if we're looking at the SPX, I think there's a very low chance of being, I mean, I'm not going to get paid anything for this. What is that level? The problem is the odds are going to be so against, like, so just not worth it. That level is, that is the Monday high. What's the Monday high on this? Yeah, it's like 69.15. Above 69.15. 69, above 6,900. Yeah, not terrible for. It's not great. No, it's not great. It's just not worth it, I would say. Above 69.25, above 6,900. That's actually interesting. That this is a little arbitrage right here. Actually, why not take this? Why not take the 8? Now, not take the 15 points of take the 15 points for the same price. Right? Yeah, I don't see that one being worth it. What you could do, which would be a little bit of an interesting play, would be that we're going to hold above yesterday's lows, and you're going to trap the short side and stay above yesterday's lows. Now that one could pay, 68.59, 68.50. Yeah, I mean that one would pay. If you said, hey, I think you're going to trap those lows and stay above yesterday's lows, that's 68.50. That one would pay. That we'll take a peek at that later today. All right, let's take a look at the data. Yeah, data came out. A little bit of a drop towards the 68.47. It looks like the Nasdaq is already, the Nasdaq's already at yesterday's lows. Yeah, the whole downside trade is just starting to just go away at this point to me. I mean, the lower you go here, the worse the trading is going to be intraday, because you can't this trade is just starting to come to fruition, right? It's sort of over. You can't be short into these lows off the open. That's just crazy talk. So, I mean, if anything, this is going to turn into a long and a short trap. If anything, that would be my read then, because the short is so beautiful off this high. I mean, there is just nothing cleaner than a bear flag rejection right here. This is such a beautiful rollover. So to the futures traders out there, I hope you caught this, because this is fantastic. But to the people that trade on the intraday, you got to watch out here, because if this keeps dripping down, you're going to open into this, you're going to open into this, you're going to open into that, you're going to open into that, and that is not a fun area to open. S&P is going to open towards all these lows at the 68.47, 68.30s. Yeah. All right. I mean, maybe we could see if we get a little bit under 604 into that 600 on the Qs, but I'm very cautious now after seeing some of this action. I think you want to be really aware of what the morning looks like and if there's any kind of bear trap today. Okay? I think it's a classic bear trap possibility little, short chasers off the open, put options off the open type of trap. I think that's very possible this morning. So be aware of these lows that you are getting very close to, okay? That would be my read today for you. Okay. Let's jump into some equities. If you guys could, please press that like button. We're still not at 1,000 likes. All right, Tesla. So this thing failed 414 miserably yesterday. If you break PDL, I would say you have more down to this low and then more down to this low. Maybe also you want to mark out this low as well. So I would say if you break and hold below PDL, I love Tesla downside to this 400. I love it to this 396. I love it to this 394. So I'm definitely going to be watching that. We'll obviously be careful of the market traps at the lows, but watch out for that PDL. Break and retest the PDL could be nice. It could be beautiful. I hope it is. I hope this is an easy break and retest of the lows. I hope there's no traps, but we know better than that. We know better than that recently. So I would love to see the Nasdaq reject that low, and then if it does, we get a Tesla rejection of the low. That would be such a sick trade. Let's see if it's that easy. Nvidia failing, very weak, and if this thing stays weak, then we can be a little bit more confident that the market continues lower. If Nvidia fails under 184, 185 today, which it clearly is, you're going to go right here to 179. If you break that, you're going right here to 170. Possibly the daily 200 holds up a little bit here. That's very possible. But I would say if you can get a rejection of this 184, 185 spot, I think you have a very clear target at 179, 180. If you break that, then you have a very clear target at the 200. So this is nice. I don't even want to look at AMD because this pre-market setup is so good, and I can only imagine what it looks like right now, but I'm going to look at it. Yeah, it's perfect. The AMD downside look is perfect. Deep in the money. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for joining the coffee fund. Yeah, the AMD downside look is super clean today. If you take a look at this chart, take a look at this hourly on AMD. Fail, hold, fail, 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 fail back below, rejection. Really nice. 204.87, 205. If you can stay under that today, I think you're trading right back down to this 194 spot. Sort of make up or give back this straight up move. Straight up, straight down. You can't go straight up on a market. Here you go again. Here's another example of it. And so, yeah, if you can get a nice entry near this 204 rejection, I would be very intrigued for that move. This is a super clean chart today. Let's see if AMD can show us something there. TSM. I'm watching to see what it does here. It's coming back into some major previous highs. So previous highs. Here's some lows. Does it hold here? Does it hold the lows, right, and hold up? Or does this fail? Because if it fails, you got a pretty clear target down at that daily 20 here. So keep an eye on this 367, 369 area on TSM today. Just made 6-1 on the gold trade. Hey, there you go, man. Hell yeah. So, yeah, AMD, very interesting. Nvidia, obviously, under that 184. TSM, under that 367 area. Broadcom is failing very clearly at a major daily low. I think it's a daily low. Let me check again. It is at a daily low. Take a look at this today, guys. Take a look at a Broadcom daily chart, right? This is a massive spot. So, Broadcom daily chart. See this low right here? See that little low right there? That's 321.42. Okay? Take a look at 321.42 on the 5-minute chart. Look at 321.42. So you are failing a major daily low here on Broadcom. And if that weakness continues, I would say you're probably looking at that gap level again at 308.78, where the gap gets filled. That's where it held yesterday. The Reclaim Ripper. Angel, appreciate that, man. Thank you, brother. MU. I don't really like MU today. I don't want to trade it into this zone right here. If MU can fail, I would say for me, MU would have to fail this 391.30 spot. So I would put an alert there. But for me, I'm not interested in shorting into any of these lows. See these lows here, these lows here. That's too risky for this thing to bounce again. So for me, 391.39, it's this low right here. That's something I'm watching on MU. Any other semiconductors I'm interested in? I don't think so. I just like AMD today more than anything. I think it's just a clean one to watch in terms of semis. Very interested in Meta today. Let me show you why. This is probably one of my top watches. Oh my God. Yeah, it's just everything's just going to be gone before the open. Yep. Yeah, everything's going to be gone before the open. Okay. All right. We'll have to reassess here, but this is definitely a trade I love today on Meta. Meta is once again failing 657. This thing has failed 657 so many times now. Just smackdowns every single time at 657. Even trapping buyers above, like doing the worst of the worst. Looking like it's going to hold above and then trapping. Looking like it's going to break above, trapping again, right? So not only just rejecting, but trapping above the level as well. So I really like Meta to be weak here off this 657 level. This is also the daily 50. And there is a sick area of no support below, right under this 646.50. If you get a nice failure under 646.50 today, you have nothing, and I mean nothing, until 640. So a nice little $6.50 zone here on Meta that looks just like this, and I think you can get a nice ride through it. You can see right there on the 30-minute chart, look at it right here. Under this flat low at 646.50, I really like the target of 640. I just hope it waits for me. So this is something I would be interested in today. If it's clean enough, that's a trade I would be interested in today. It's really a nice setup. You have nothing below. And when you have nothing below like this, it gets very interesting. So that's something I would watch. Meta today. I like that look. Okay, let's go into I don't really have much on Apple today. It's just not going anywhere, so not much for me. CoreWeave is somewhat interesting today. Let me show you this CoreWeave level. If CoreWeave does not hold up above this low right here, I believe it is. Yeah, above 83.50, 84. If you break that, look at this. Look what's under on CoreWeave. Not a whole hell of a lot. I'll tell you that. Take a look at CoreWeave under 83.50, 84. You don't got much, right? You got pretty much straight down, straight up V-shaped recovery here. So if you break that low and this market stays weak, this could be a really big drop towards this 70 low. I like this area to take advantage of CoreWeave. So that's something I'm watching today. I got an alert there to see if it breaks those lows. NBIS is another one that if you break this 99 100 spot, you really don't have much below towards this daily 20 at 93.50. Similar sector, or actually the same sector, same company basically. So something to watch there. Amazon, really not too much interest on Amazon. You can clearly just see it's in a channel now, so this one's sort of off the docket for me. It's just in an exact channel, so nothing there. Google, I got nothing today. Microsoft is just fading right off that 408 again, so nothing quite there. I'm not going to short Microsoft into these demand lows, so that one's not interesting to me. APP, this one has some interest. I'll show you why. I'm not sure I'm going to trade APP today because it's a behemoth, but you can look at what APP is doing here. It's pretty clear. You have a rejection at this exact high again, right? Previous lows, fails. And if you take a look at this hourly chart, I would be watching APP 427 today. If you fail this Wednesday high and if you fail this daily 20, sort of something like this, right, I think you're going to trade right down to this 408, this low here. And if you break that low, then I would say you're going to give back this whole move here from Wednesday. So this is sort of interesting here on APP. If you fail this clear high on Wednesday, which lines up perfectly with the daily 20. If you see a rejection there, I think you get some flowing downside. So that one's sort of interesting for me. Coinbase has given us the pullback that we wanted. However, I'm not sure if this is really a pullback long, if I was to be honest. However, it is pulling back into some previous highs. So Coinbase 174, I think there's a good chance you see 167 in the daily 20. Nice pullback so far. But I'm not sure I want to be long crypto today because I'm not really loving what I'm seeing in terms of the market. Robinhood, this one is another very interesting one, but the trade is already over, which is just terrible. 78 Wednesday's highs, would have loved a little bam, 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 and maybe we still get that, right? Maybe we still get a little pop and fade at Wednesday's highs. This would be so sick. One of these, and one of those. I would love that. So that's something I would look for, but I'm not sure Hood's even going to get back up there, but maybe it will. Who knows? The other option would be a fail under PDL into 75 again. So you either have one of these or you have one of these, all right? Watching both. Under PDL or back at 78. Which one fails? I like both. Palantir failing that 137 level perfectly again. Same failure spot on Palantir. Back down to PDL. I'm not too much of a fan of Palantir here. I think it could find some support back at like this 131 spot. So I'll probably leave this one alone. But I would say maybe below yesterday's lows, you get a little bit of downside, but then you're right back into 131. So this area is sort of a no short for me. I'd say to where I would look to short this one is under 131. Let's go Netflix. Netflix actually holding up relatively well today. It actually looks like it doesn't even care what the market's doing right now, which is sort of interesting. Netflix, obviously, news yesterday about the whole bid that's been going on. They basically just got a free like $5 billion or whatever it was. Was it $3 billion? It's actually one of the craziest stories I've ever seen, that if the deal doesn't go through, they just get $3 billion. Collects $2.8 billion breakup fee. I mean, that's just insane. Like, whoever wrote that contract and put that into the contract for Netflix, give him a billy, right? Give him a billion of that. Whoever that lawyer was that wrote that contract, give him something. They're collecting a free $2.8 billion. I mean, wow. That's great. Wish I could write a contract like that. So 92.30, if you get above that, Netflix might continue here. 97 is the next high. I think your best trade, especially with the market downside that you're seeing, will be a pullback back to like this 87 demand. Give me a little pullback long. That's something I would be looking at. Circle. This one is very interesting. I think you want to watch this today, okay? Circle is Circle at the end of the day, and it's not that great of a stock, clearly. It just popped an insane amount on this earnings call. It pushed right into supply, and now you're getting markets to fade and crypto to fade again. This is sort of interesting. Is this a just total pop and fade on Circle? Something to watch. There's a massive move higher with pretty much no structure, just vertical higher, 2 days in a row. Under 71.19, you have a gap below, so we can put gap below here. That very much could fill. Very, very well could, need to fill. Under 71, gap fill back to 64. That's very possible. I would be laser focused on what happens at this 80 low here. Right under this low from the previous day, yesterday. Right under this low around 80.76. If that fails, I think you're going to start to navigate a little bit, right? Start to pick up some volume. So that's something I would watch. But right now, you are still above yesterday's lows. So be aware of that. But overall, Circle, I'm watching it. Definitely watching it. All right, let's take a look at Dell, because I know some of you probably want to look at this with the earnings move that's going on. Let's take a quick peek at a quick update on Dell. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty clear. You just need to see it hold this high right here. I would say like this 131, anywhere from that 131 to this high here, like 128. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that daily 200 pullback. I think that's the right call, actually. Yeah, I actually like that better. Take that off my charts. I like 128. That's the conservative look. And you always get bigger pullbacks than you expect when you're all excited about something. So for me, yeah, 128's money. You get a little pullback to 128, back to that daily 200. If that could be the hold level, that's what I'd look for there. And then the other one was ZS. Let's take a look at the okay, hold on. We might want to be looking at the cyber names again today, because if this market's weak, then maybe cyber finds that weakness again. That's an interesting thesis today. Let's take a quick peek at the cyber. Okay, yeah, you're failing back under that. Interesting. So, like CrowdStrike here, right, is failing this retest level at 382 that we had, and it's also failing back below this daily low. If CrowdStrike stays under 374.52 today, You are back under that daily low, and that could result in a little bit of weakness. Yeah, I'm not sure how much space you have, but yeah, I would be watching to see what the cyber names do today. CrowdStrike 374.52. What's PA&W doing? Okay, P&W still holding that low. Okta. Yeah, it's retesting this 4-hour low at 75. You might be looking at some bear flags here. Right? Take a look at this daily chart here. Look at this daily low at 75. You might be retesting and rejecting that. Look at that. Okay. Yeah, I would just sort of watch the cyber names today a little bit. Keep an eye on because they've pushed over the last few days. But if that push over the last few days is just a lower high rejection and sort of a dead cat bounce, there could be round two. So I'd sort of keep a little bit of a watch there. All right. So real quick, before we end today's stream, I want to do one last thing for you. And I want to mark out PDC, which I have in my I'm starting to keep this on my charts every day, but I want to mark out PDC for you because I want to let you know where a gap could need to get filled before you start chasing. Actually, wow, you're at PDC. That's PDC? Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So you're not really starting. Yeah, you're not opening on a gap. You're actually just opening flat with yesterday's close. Wait, that's not right. What's going on here? Oh, am I taking the wrong candle? Open, close. 609.24. Yes. 609.24. Okay. Am I blind? What's going on here? 1600 yesterday. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. I'm very sorry. I thought my PDC line was right here. My bad. Okay, so yes, you are opening on a gap down. My God, that's terrible. Sorry. Yep. Just lack of brain cells there. All right, we're good. That other line confused me. I thought I was looking at the wrong line. Okay, and then PDC on spot. Yes, so your PDC is up at the rejection point, right? So, what does that mean? You are opening on a major gap down. And you are opening on a gap down with this being the best rejection point at the PDC. And you are also right into the SPY demand. Okay, yeah, I hate the short. I hate it. I despise the short already. You can't short into these lows off the open after this drop. So the short is already over in my book today. Whether I'm right or wrong, it's going to be really hard to look for shorts today into those lows. Nasdaq, look at this major triple bottom. So many trap opportunities down there to short into that low. QQQ, let's see what PDC does, or PDL. SPY is right into this trappy low. Take a look at the SPY here, guys. Bam, 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 bam. Look at where you're opening, or look at where you're bouncing off of. So I think if anything, there's probably a chance this pushes higher today, even though it's weak in the pre-market. And you know what? I'm going to pull up Kalshi. I'm going to put a little bet on that. I think it's a good time to do that because I think a lot of people might be overly bearish on this move. So let's go ahead and go. SPX is going to hold above yesterday's lows. I'm going to go with that. 68.60. 68.50 or above. I'm going to go yes. Yeah, I'm going to go yes on that. 68.50 or above. I'm going yes on that. I like that. I don't mind that. I'm going to take that 50. I think today you trap into those lows. That's my read today. That's my cautionary spot. I think you got to be really careful down into these lows. It's the channel, right? At the end of the day, this is still the channel. So look what happened last time you hit these channel lows. I'm going to run on the what's happened here. I don't like shorting into this open, especially on this gap down. So I'm going to go with the ES staying above previous day low today. I'm going to say it reclaims it and then just does absolutely nothing. Let's see. Obviously, that Kalshi play makes no difference in terms of my intraday trading, but that's just my pre-market prediction. Have a little bit of fun with it. The pre-market prediction. I should make like a little scene, like the pre-market prediction hosted by Kalshi. I got to see, like, that's why I love Claude, because now I can do all this stuff by just typing to it. Look at that. Insiders Coffee Co. Fuel your pre-market. Rally roast, liquid levels, reclaim ripper. Join the waitlist at insiderscoffeeco.com. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. Monday, man. Monday, 7 p.m. Exciting stuff coming soon. Let me see if I can. There's a little sneak peek of that. Oh, no. These aren't working. Yeah, exciting stuff coming soon, man, for Monday. So I hope you guys show up. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a game changer, I think, for a lot of people. It's going to change. I think it's going to maybe change the way people are online. It's going to be very much a place where, everyone's going to have to admit to the faults that they've had and be a human at the end of the day and talk about the things that they've had problems with and, constructively change and try to fix it without ego, without trying to be a mastermind, without trying to be Albert Einstein and pretending like everything's good and dandy when they're losing money, right? So it's the trading intervention that you didn't think you needed. Monday, 7 p.m. It's going to be, I think it's going to be very cool. I think it's a great idea. So I hope you guys do enjoy that. Make sure to show up to it. It's going to be on a different channel, so I will let you guys know Monday morning about everything that you need to do to be a part of it. So just stay tuned to the live stream. Smash that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Have a fantastic rest of your day.